So morning's demonstration is about supporting the next exercise, which is graded wash. What is graded wash? So I have here an A4 size paper, right? This is an ordinary. It's not 100% cotton. So this is arches. So this is 100% cotton, and this is cellulose. Cellulose is it's pulp paper, so it's but this is more expensive because the material is much more. Okay, so I'd rather you use a cotton paper. Yeah, they're expensive, more expensive than this. It's about what 3 to 5 times more expensive, but you have less frustration with cotton paper than this. No, it's going to be a graded wash, light to dark, dark to light. No, and how do you execute that? I'm going to tape this. So how do you tape this properly? So I have a drawing board, right? This drawing board is 100 plus pesos. You can find it in National Bookstore. One thing about cellulose or this pulp paper, it's not cotton, is that yung taping would be very it's going to stick, and when you more than cotton. I'm just going to secure this by taping it. Okay, I'm using a 20 millimeter 3M. Normally, I don't use cellulose, and I use only 100% cotton because it's less frustrating. I'm going to be using this ordinary type of palette. This is not a professional grade or artist grade, but rather a student grade, which is the Winsor Newton Cotman. So it's regarded as very much a student grade. 10 colors. Okay, so this is based on tubes, not my pro grade. My pro grade, because it's much more pigmenty, it's much more vibrant. So I'm not going to be using that. For this morning, I'm going to be doing a demonstration with student grade stuff. So student grade paper, student grade watercolor. Of course, this is just any container that you have. You have to have two, one for washing and one for picking up water. And then I'm gonna have a piece of cloth, a rag, to water manage my watercolor. So what is water management? Okay, so in watercolor, that's the most important thing that you need to really be doing is water managing. Okay, this is something that I didn't realize that it's something that is very, very important pala. So which I don't mention so much now. So I'm going to be drawing the lines first. I made some marks here, and then of course a bit of the touching the paper is like half an inch siguro. Okay, the first two washes, ano ba sila?
There's flat wash.
It's the other one.
Step wash po.
Yes. Those are 2 of 3 most commonly used for architecture. Okay, so simplified. You have an outline. Okay, some of you would think, I'm going to mask the edges. No. But what we're going to do is control of the edges, with your brush. Okay. Particularly, I bought it this week. It's only 235 pesos. Okay, so this is in fully booked. This is nylon. This is not natural hair. So this is relatively affordable. Something like this. This is my pure Kolinsky brush of already more than 5 years. Okay, yeah, it points. Okay, so one thing about natural hair as opposed to nylon. Okay, nylon, if you notice, it's very straight. Okay, here I'm having problems already because it doesn't point. This is years of use, and yet it goes to a point. Okay, it's a collapsible type of it's a travel brush. So when you wet it, it points. Okay, it's a good point. And then the thing is about this, it carries 2.5 times more water than a nylon can. I'm going to demonstrate it with a student grade type of brush, which is a nylon. From light to dark. So dark, I'm going to make this as the darkest, and I'm going to get it to light than here, but evenly. So the graded wash is that light to dark, dark to light. And then yeah, let's try to do it now. The first thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to apply water onto the rectangle. You do this one rectangle at a time, no? Per rectangle, no? So I'm going to apply. If you take a look at how I'm applying, not too much and not too little, okay? I'm going to apply a thin layer and not going over the edges, okay? So you can see probably, the sheen of this, the reflection. Yeah, there it is. And then I'm going to just gonna look at the paper. So I'm evenly applying this. So don't go about doing that, no, because you're gonna be damaging the paper. So it's a light application, a thin. Ang one disadvantage of pulp or cellulose paper is that it's going to dry faster than a cotton. So the holding of water, retention of water is a bit low. You have to work faster. So I'm doing this as not too slow. It's starting to dry here, so I have to go back here. Now, so not too much, not too little at the same time. No, just right. I'm gonna push that in. I use my finger to push in the water. It was already outside the line. So you noticed also that there's going to be warping. It's going to be involved. No, there's a bit of too much na. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my cloth. I'm going to dry my brush, right? And then I'm going to pick up the excess water. Again, not too much, not too little yung dapat. Dry my brush again. I'm going to pick up. This is called lifting. So you're going to be lifting some of the excess water. So that this is part of the technique in applying watercolor. So it's not too much, not too little at the same time. I think that's enough. Not too much though. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to get my set. I'm going to wet my brown or burnt sienna. So what is the consistency dapat? Ano what are the 4 types of consistencies?
Sir, yung tea, milk, cream, tsaka honey po.
Yes. So this is, I'm trying to do sort of, cream. I'm going to pick up more water kasi it's a bit dry. So it's there. And then I'm going to medyo yun na. Pero we need more actually. Sort of like a cream consistency now. It's not yet there. It's better for you to prepare the mix before you start wetting the paper because it's going to dry. Since mine is already dried in my palettes. I'm supposed to, I'm already trying to make more. It has to be a consistent that is cream. You can see it at an angle. So I'm going to place this like at an angle, get some pigment, and I'm going to start applying. Now, oops, I already went off the line, so it's not sharp kasi. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do an S motion. I'm gonna go down. I'm being careful not going at an angle here. I'm doing an S motion. This is what we call an S motion. Now here I'm going to show you this S motion. Okay, I'm running out of pigment. I'm going here again. I'm gonna go down an S motion. S motion. Motion. S motion. S motion. S motion. Okay, so the wet area helps. Okay, I'm going to water manage again. I'm going to wash my brush a bit. Okay, dry it a bit with my cloth that you can see here on the side, and then I'm going to carry on here. Okay, more water. I loaded the brush with a bit more water. So I'm going to make an even, like a dark to light. Okay. So the thing about this is that, once you've established this, the problem with this now is that you can't touch any of this anymore. Meaning you have to wait for it to dry. But since it's wet, you're going to use gravity assist, all right, to kind of push some of the pigments correctly in the right direction. Okay, so here it's getting too dark over here, and you can see here. So the subtlety of this now, so I'm doing an opposite now. I'm making sure that the pigment goes, most of the darker pigments are in this area here. Then I'm gonna take a bit more of this because the corner is not sharp. I'm just gonna push that. Not too much. Just leave it there. Then I'm just gonna manage this, hoping that this is successful. Yeah, the pigment is actually traveling at the moment. Okay, so I'm trying to manage the direction with gravity, and I'm really handling it like this. Okay, and then here you can see that, and it's already starting to dry. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna hold it like this and angle it like this. So you don't want that wet area going to the drying part here. Okay, so it's here. How do you know it's starting to dry? It's that it's becoming matte, a matte finish. Okay, you can see the sheen here, but here it's already matte. At this point, I'm going to hold it like this, upside down, and yeah, I don't want to go this watery area to go to the drying area, because it's what's going to happen there is it's called those cauliflower. You don't want that happening. So I'm putting it at this sort of position over here, so you can see the shininess, and then here it's already matte, it's dried. You dry your brush. Okay, so in order for you to not ruin your brushes, okay, is that this is the bad habit kasi. Ang ginagawa ng mga students, okay, I'm just gonna put this away. The proper way of managing your brush is not like this. You don't leave it like that. You ruin your brush's point by doing that, okay? You don't, just leave it like that for overnight and the like. The proper way is after every use, you wash away the pigments, the excess one, dry it a bit, wash off the some of the pigments, and then dry it off a bit, and then leave it like this. Okay, so it doesn't ruin your the point. If you have a very expensive brush, this is the great way of ruining it, is that you have a bad habit of putting it like that, just dumping it like that. You rest it like this. Okay, so this is like I reuse a bottle, a drinking bottle, and just duct tape them together, and then cut out some of these grooves so that I could rest my expensive brushes, or if you're using two, ganyan lang. Okay, so now it's starting to dry. The area kanina here, it was very wet, and now the wetter area are here. So I'm still holding this to that now. So if you notice that it's warped, yung wet area, of course, like your skin, diba? When you're too long in the water, it kumukalubot yung may mga wavy in your skin. It's expanding kasi. Just like paper expands when they're wet. It grows. Pero yung area, yung outer area kasi are dry. So therefore, ito lang yung nagwa-warp na area. That's what's happening. So try to manage your drying time to be at an angle like this. Okay, so don't rush it. Just leave it for like 5 to 10 minutes until you can see that it's not anymore shiny. So that area here, it's already starting to be matte. Okay. But then, what happens if you don't wait? You can't wait. What happens if you're? I know, kasi did you notice that I did not at all try to it's just one or two swoops of color application, and I did not so much do it ganun again and again and try to control my brush. Now, the function of a brush is to transport the pigments only. Okay, you did do a few directions, right? But that's it. Don't ruin the the wash by going back and forth. Okay. Again, the point here is that the technique is S motion. Ganun ako. As I go down, like I'm doing a curve, a slow curve. And then when you're starting to run out of ink, you pick up a bit of the mixture that you just did. Yeah, make sure that you have enough, and then you start removing some of the pigments in your brush by washing it off. And then suddenly it becomes lighter and lighter. This is just one go, right? Walang second take. Then this becomes lighter a bit later on. There are imperfections, like for example here, hindi nag-meet sa line, hindi nag-push. This one went over the line. Basta ano lang yung, what I'm going to be looking for is the smoothness of this. Okay, try it the best as you can, of course. Okay, here it is. Siguro you could see that gradient quality here with this art, for example. This is what I did for a commission. Zoom in. It's my art. Okay, you can see that gradient from dark to light over there, and some of the shadows, ganun din. You could see some of that gradients are also applied here in my watercolors. Dark to light, light to dark. Where is yun? Mga ganito. So it smoothly somehow does that, no? I try to recreate this, no? Some areas are darker and then it smoothly lightens up, no? Okay, these are, again, this is a good example here. So I have dark areas there going to lighter, and then sometimes it fuses two colors like this, and usually this is what I do, no? So from darker to lighter, and so gradient washes. Even this one, San Sebastian Church, I have some dark to light, light to dark. Okay? Even in computer renderings, they do that. It does that. Yung mga ganun, yung may light to dark, dark to light, no? Graded washes or gradients. Okay, hopefully that gives you a lot of information and some examples, practical examples of watercolor. Later on, of course, after this week, we have further exercises in watercolor that uses this technique, this graded wash technique.